Welcome to Franklin. Welcome to Franklin, Patriots. This has been something we've been working on for about 6 months. Very exciting. We're glad everybody's here. Come on up, Councilman. It's my job to thank all the people that have done the work here. You know, I've been mayor for 10 years, and I read a lot about Revolutionary War history, and I thought myself a buff of Revolutionary War history. Then I met people like George Luck here and Brad Fay, and I learned I'm a kindergartner. But I've been mayor for 10 years. For 9.5 years, for many years, I've known about the conference on horseback. For 9.5 years as mayor, I didn't realize it happened here in our town. So I want to thank a number of people, a long list here, that made this possible. First of all, Glenn McParlin, who designed the coins that are on sale over here. They're great commemorative coins. $10. Proceeds go to pay for more events like this year. George Luck, who's an incredible historian of the area. Brad Fay, another historian and has been advising us, lives in Franklin. Bob LaCourte, the chairman of the committee. This wouldn't have happened without him. He calls me about 5 times a day to talk about this. The Presbyterian Church and the Methodist Church have been they've been saints in helping us out. From staff, Stephen Dahl, Krista Hodges, and Safi Callan have been instrumental in this happening. I couldn't have done it without them. The entire Franklin 250 committee, including Bob Hudak, who's responsible for any flag you see flying here. I want to welcome, I haven't seen Mayor Carley here yet, but Mayor Mark Frieda from Princeton is here. We're right on the borders of all of them. I'm declaring that spot of land where this occurred, right where that flag is, that's where this actually occurred. That is now jointly owned by Franklin, Princeton, and South Brunswick. Dignitaries that are here are Councilman Potasnik, Councilman Vassanella, former Mayor Chris Kelly, former Councilman Ted Chase, about to be BOE member Jennifer Welsh, BOE member Nick DeMiglio, and our manager Bob Bornacher, who also was instrumental in this happening. There was a mayor from, I think, Little Neptune. Where is she? There she is. Glad she came. That's about it. The general's going to be here any minute, so let me get out of the way and introduce George Luck, who's going to tell us the things we need to know about what's happening today. Oh, right. Thank you very much. On January 10th, this is our first event of the celebration. We have about 10 throughout the year, but the next one is on January 10th at 7 p.m. at the high school. Doors open at 6:15. It's $10. The money goes to helping more of these happen. And it's a Terry Seggio production, so it is guaranteed to be good. It's a salute, it's a musical and dance salute. There's Terry right there. Musical and dance salute to America. So, on with the show.
Okay, I'm already set to go.
Set to go, I'm watching.
I want to welcome you all to Kingston. I understand that some of you look confused by that. Yes, it is true that for nearly a century, this town was known as Kingstown. But just recently, we started calling it Kingston, and to be honest with you, I like the sound of that a little bit better. Please forgive me, I should have really introduced myself. My name is William Van Tilburg. I am the proprietor and tavern keeper of the Sign of the Mermaid. It's just a couple hundred yards up the road from here, and it is one of 3 taverns in our town. I'm also the proud father of 3 sons, Henry, William, and Peter, who are enlisted with the 3rd Regiment, Middlesex County Militia. And I had to actually give my permission for my son Peter, because he's just a lad of 12 years old and is the drummer boy. Kingston, in addition to having 3 taverns, there are 2 stage lines that come through the village and stop here. But I do tell you, they have not been reliable of late. We have 20 homes. We have a grist mill, a sawmill, a blacksmith shop, a school, and a Presbyterian church just over here. And it's what the village consists of. Now, on December the 1st, 1776, the troops camped just outside of the village. And that night, writing in his journal, General Nathaniel Greene says, "When we left Brunswick, we had not 3,000 men, a very pitiful army to defend the liberties of America on." That next morning, the troops marched through Kingston on their way to Princeton, Trenton, and eventually to cross the Delaware River to get into Pennsylvania. December 7th, the British Army comes through the village with about 4,000 to 6,000 troops, and they're marching in pursuit of our army. December 16th, the British General James Grant places a whole battalion of light infantry in Kingston, and they will occupy all the homes and public places in the town. So the town is now occupied by our enemy. Most of our residents have fled the area. They are fearful of plundering, stealing, damage, destruction of their property. This comes to be true once the troops are stationed here, and it becomes a fact of life. On December 27th, over a brigade of Hessians arrive here because they've had the Battle of Trenton, and they've been pushed out, and so they've come into Princeton, but Princeton doesn't have enough room for them, so they send them to Kingston. That night, 400 Hessians sleep outside because there's no room in the buildings here in the town. So that brings us up to January 2nd. And at that point, the British have ordered their troops out of Kingston to go to Trenton so that they could capture General Washington and the entire army. However, General Washington had had other plans. He had snuck out of Trenton that night, leaving campfires burning, and came into Princeton. His goal was to go to Brunswick, or New Brunswick as we know it, because that's where all the stores of the British Army were. That's their equipment, their clothing, their blankets, their weapons, their ammunition, the gunpowder, and the money. And if he could get there and capture that, it could put an end to the war. However, they kind of ran into the rear of the British Army in Princeton, and so another battle ensues. And after that battle, they leave Princeton. Now, the weather, a couple days before the beginning of in the beginning of the year, it had warmed up into the 30s, and the roads had become muddy and very difficult to travel. But on the night of January 2nd, a freeze came in, and the temperatures were in the upper teens. And what happens is, at 8 a.m., approximately when the Battle of Princeton starts, it is a cold and frosty morning. Temperature reads 20 degrees, so it's cold. And if there was anybody left in Kingston, because like I said, most residents had fled, they're hearing the cannons coming from the direction of Princeton. They can hear the noise. And around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, General Washington and the Continental Army arrives in this village. and he orders the bridge over the Millstone River destroyed. Now, that's a stone bridge with wood planks, so they're just cutting up and trying to take the wood planks out of the stone bridge. And he's concerned about the British following him. So he convenes a council of war. They need to determine what to do next. Okay, the goal, as I said earlier, was to go to Brunswick. You have to understand these troops have been up for 36 hours. They have been under arms for 18 of those 36 hours. They're tired, they're cold. When you hear about following the Continental Army's footsteps because you can see the blood in the snow, that is true. Many of these troops are ill-clothed, and they got rags wrapped around their feet. And yes, they just won a battle, but the question is, are they ready to go? So what you're going to witness for the first time, since it actually did happen in January 3rd, 1777, you're going to witness 3 of those generals talking about what the plan is. Now, in the real conference, there was probably close to 7 or 8 generals, because that's how many would have been with Washington as they came into town. And they would have all had their opinions as to what to do. But we're going to get to listen to General Washington and General John Sullivan and General Nathaniel Greene discuss this conference, this decision of what to do, whether to go on to Brunswick and follow the original plan, or is it time to go into winter quarters and go up to Morristown? So I will let them make those decisions. It's above my pay grade. So if you could just clear a little path here, I would like to invite the generals to come on in.